I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop that into my BluRay player. There it goes. It says to receive files, run the following command, which we've already ran on our PC. And so now it is actually sending everything inside of the app0 directory over to my PC. How cool is that? Hey, what is up, everybody? Michael Crump back here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 homebrew news and much, much more. You just got a sneak peek at what we're going to be building today, but I did want to give a little bit more of an introduction to the project. So there is this project that's out here. It's already on GitHub, and it's just called BD-J for a Linux SDK. So basically what you get with this GitHub repo is that you get the ability to come in here and you can build a couple of different samples. So there is one that just prints out the word hello world. There's another one here that's just the JB demo. And then finally, there's this one right here, which we're the most interested in. And this basically zips up and compresses the app0 or the currently running app and sends it over to your computer. Now, this is an SDK. And so if we scroll down into it, it says, in order to build this on Debian flavored operating systems, you can invoke the following commands to install dependencies and compile the source code. And then there's an example of actually making an ISO file. So I wanted to use our time today to go ahead and build this completely from scratch. That way, if you want to go ahead and you want to build your own ISO image in order to run any of these samples or even the new samples that are coming out, then you would be able to do so by simply following this guide. Okay, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. I am using Windows Terminal, and I am using a virtual machine that I just spun up that is running Ubuntu 20.04.4.LTS. Now, you don't necessarily need to use exactly this flavor of Ubuntu, but basically any Debian-based Linux operating system, you'll be able to compile your own ISO. And as stated in the instructions here are the commands that you're going to want to run. So I'm going to begin by running this one right here. So I'm just going to simply copy this. Okay, we'll paste that right in here and we will press return. But as you can see right here, it's not going to be able to do anything because it simply can't find the packages. So the reason I'm leaving these errors in here is so when you hit them, you know a way that you can fix them. So this typically would happen on a brand new install of Ubuntu. What we need to do is we need to update the packages that's actually on Linux itself. So we can fix that up fairly easy by putting in this command right here, which is sudo apt get update, and we're going to get the distribution upgrade. So once we do that, we can go ahead and we can press return here. And as you can see, it is going out and it is updating all of the packages that we need. I did hit yes on that last prompt there, and that basically just makes sure that we're completely up to date. So it will take usually a few minutes for this to download and to update. I did speed up the video here just so you didn't have to wait for that to finish. Now, once it finishes updating, now we'll have access to those packages. So now we will just scroll up and we will rerun that same sudo command that we ran a little bit earlier. It is 353 megabytes of packages. I hit yes there, and again, I'm going to speed up the video a bit here in order to get everything downloaded and installed. Basically, it installs things such as Git. It also installs the Java runtime, which is going to be needed to compile. Okay, so it looks like that is finished here. So now what I'm going to do, let's just go ahead and clear out our terminal screen. And I am going to continue following along with the instructions that was in the README. So here you can see we've got a git clone, and that maps directly up to this command right here. So again, we're just going straight down through this line right now. Okay, so basically it just pulled down the GitHub repo. That way we can start working with it locally on our machine. Okay, I'm just going to run the next command in that series. And this line is all about the JDK or the Java Development Kit. Now we have a make command. And when you first run this, you will see a number of different warnings. Don't let these warnings, freak you out or anything like that. If it completes, then at least you know that it's going to be okay to run the final command. And I'll press return here. Okay. So this is all about the make files. So this is going to allow us in just a moment to make the ISO file without having any issues. And then the last make file. Okay, so that looks good. If your screen goes all the way and looks just like this, then you're in great shape. And just one other way that you can double check and make sure everything is running properly is to try to build the Hello World sample. All this does on the PlayStation 5 is just puts the text on the screen that says Hello World. We're just going to do this for a quick test. Okay, and we will press return here, and that looks great. We can scroll up a little bit here, and we will see that there is a Hello World.iso image that was created, and it is right around 16 megabytes. Okay, so we can navigate to where this file is located at. We're going to go to BD-J SDK. We're going to go into the samples folder and do an ls, and we're going to go cd hello world, and we'll just do a long listing here, and there it is, hello world.iso. So we are able to successfully make an ISO image. So let's go ahead and let's navigate to the file dump directory, cd ps5 file dump, and let's go ahead and let's do a listing here. We're going to go into the source folder, and we need to go into the org folder, and now homebrew. And the file that we're going to want here is going to be the logging tcp.java file. Let me go ahead and get into that file, and we're going to use something called nano here. So nano logging tcp.java file. And so before I move forward with this, let me explain just a bit. So one thing that you will need to do, and the reason that you will have to build your own ISO image, is because you need to input the local IP address of the PC that it needs to send these files to. So that's the reason why I can't just make one of these files and just, hand it off, to someone else in order for them to, run it on their PlayStation 5 unless they change their IP address to the IP address that I'm hard coding into this file here. So where it says host down here, I just changed that to my PC local IP address, which is 10.0.0.141. Now I'm going to need to do a Control S to save it, and then a Control X to exit it. So now we're just going to cd back to the home directory, and now I am going to run that make command that we ran just a moment ago, except for where it was hello world. I'm going to change that to PS5 file dump. Okay, I'm going to remove hello world and now PS5 file dump and press return here. And there it goes. It just built another ISO image. So let's scroll up and we can see that there is the PS5 file dump.iso. Okay, great. We can go ahead and cd into that directory if we would like. And now that we're there, we can do an ls-l And right there is the PS5 File Dump.iso. And what we are going to want to do with that ISO image is to obviously burn it to a Blu-ray disc. So let's go ahead and let's do that now. I am using Imgburn. It's absolutely free. If you just do a Google search, you'll find it. And I am going to the option that says write image file to disk. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And now I am going to select that file. As you can see, it just says PS5 File Dump.iso. I have went ahead and I've inserted a BD-RE disk into my drive, so I will need to format it before we write to it, but it should take just a few minutes. So I'm going to press on the right button here, and it says the disk is not empty, and so I'm going to hit OK there. And now it's just going to burn that ISO image over to my BD-RE disk. And once this completes, I'll be just about ready to go ahead and put this into my PlayStation 5. But I will need to do one thing first. Okay, so it has completed. This is just a typical warning message because I have a slim line drive. Okay, so now I'm back on my local desktop and I'm using Windows Terminal. And I did install Windows Subsystem for Linux on this computer, and I have logged into that Ubuntu instance. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I am going to run this command nc -l 18194 and then app0.zip, and I'm just going to let this be running right here. It will look like there is something going on with it, maybe a problem, but it is all good. Now go ahead and take the disk out, and we're about to insert that into our PlayStation 5. Okay, the disk is inserted, and so now I'm just going to press on the play button here. And there it goes. And those instructions for that command, you can obviously see they're also displayed on the screen. But at this point, it is sending everything in app 0 over to my computer. It does say done when it's finished. So back over on my computer here, it looks again like this is still just running and nothing has happened. But actually, things have been happening. So let's go ahead and go to our Ubuntu instance here. And now let's just do an ls-l, and there it is, app0.zip. So there is the folder that we are looking for. We can actually close out of this with the Control-Z. And then if we go back to our terminal instance here, if we type in explorer.exe /period and then return, and there it is. We can see we've got an app 0. So I'm just going to extract this to app 0 in this same folder here. And there is app 0. And we can double click on it. And so these are the files that is running on the PlayStation 5, which is the app 0. Again, very similar to my last video where at least we can see things such as player core. So obviously this is the Blu-ray player application that's currently being ran on the PlayStation 5. Again, what we're looking at here is absolutely a very early look at some of the stuff that we will see coming out for the PlayStation 5. I believe that with this guide so far, you would be able to build your own samples as more of these come out, instead of waiting around or maybe being dependent upon somebody else, to modify the source code and put in your IP address for your PC. Now you'll be able to build and do that completely by yourself. And I did want to include this as well because I've seen a lot of people that have ran this command and they got this right here. Now, if you see this, obviously the error message is telling you that there is a connect exception. Basically, it couldn't find the IP address on the local network. So if you see this, I just wanted to let you know it is not working properly. So I see some people that have posted on Twitter, showing this, and they're like, woohoo. Well, it's not running right. So again, you don't want this message. You want one that just shows the words done without any sort of error messages. And so that's going to do it for this one, folks. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton. And I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out.